So I'm talking with Erik today. Erik, what do you do again?
Sometimes I don't know, Keegan, to be completely honest. I can tell
Same.
you what my official title is. So I'm a product manager, recently joined EY, and I'll be very clear to say that I'm speaking here out of my own opinions, but I'm a product manager. So my role within EY is actually to look at some of the businesses that EY has that have traditionally been very people-focused services products, and then figure out how we can build innovative software products leverage AI and our own proprietary content and knowledge to just transform how we go to market. So it's really all about taking lengthy, people-oriented processes and then translating those into innovative products that can augment our practitioners. So it's not all about taking of the people and then we don't need them anymore. It's actually ensuring that our people are way more effective in the field. They can provide even deeper insights and value to clients. And they can really just see things that they couldn't see before just because everyone's always busy. Everyone's trying to take a lot of, shuffle a lot of information and keep a lot of things in their mind. Where if you have these software products purpose built to extract insights, information, and deliver it, you just turbocharge what people are able to do. So that's what I do now. My background has always been in software building and building products, and this is, I think, the next iteration of what products look like.
Cool. That makes sense. I think we have some parallel paths there. I'm a lone ranger in my consulting practice, and I think we both see various desires, hopes, and dreams for AI out there. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement out there about what the technology can do. It's very quick to get 50% of the way there, 70% of the way there compared to what it took before to get 50 or 70% of the way there. But that last 20, 30% is extremely hard, especially I think maybe people that are not living this technology every day either fall on the camp of I'm not going to touch it, I'm too scared, or they fall on the camp of just throw it everything and it's just going to know how to do the thing. And obviously getting it to that point is extremely hard.
Yeah. So in that way, what do you think the best analogy is to try to explain what an LLM can do for someone? I've heard a lot of
Yeah.
analogies, and like the hype is very good about comparing it to like human attributes, which we can talk about also, good and bad. But what is the best? I think I'm not going again. But what is the best comparison point to try to explain to people what the potential could be?
Yeah, the way that I've done a lot, and it's very interesting to me because I think you and I have talked about this, that you and I are in tech and we kind of leave these technologies every day. We're reading about them, we're experimenting. So we think the world is like here, but in reality, still to this day, I do intros to LLM and what a prompt is. And that's, I think, the vast majority of the non-tech world. So when I've had to call them trainings, intro sessions, learning sessions, I really just explain it to people as imagine you hired an extremely intelligent intern. They're very eager to do the work. You can tell them, hey, do this. You can tell them, do that.
So I
And they're
noticed,
going to,
so I noticed you used intern instead of assistant. Why?
because I do think that technology is at the point where you can actually give them a task and
Mhm.
have it get to an outcome. So I look at an assistant as someone that's helping me. An intern or a new hire is not someone that's there as an assistant to you. It's someone that's part of your team that you give them tasks, but still require a lot of oversight. So what I've told people is you have a very intelligent, an intern that read the entire world's encyclopedic knowledge. They know about everything, but they've never actually put it into practice. So you tell them, you ask them to do something. Hey, write a report on the impact of the housing market on corn prices. I don't know, just making something up. Now, there is a non-zero chance that they'll write the report how you want it written and how it should be written. There's also a very high likelihood that they're going to end up somewhere completely different. So you have to guide them and give them
mean,
direction
like
and boundaries.
the history of cornbread instead?
Yeah, like you don't know what's going to happen, right? Which countries? This country? Did you mean in your
Yeah.
neighborhood? That there's so
So
many things like that. And
yeah,
that's
so
why I use the word intern, right? Because they do
yeah.
real work, and if you give them direction, it will be valuable work. But you have to give them direction.
So you're taking you down this road of this debate where like there are all of these human attributes that like we hear in the market about what AI is and what LLMs are and they do, right? They're intelligent, they have hallucinations, they, right? Like it's all these human oriented things. So that's one camp. And the other camp is no, it's not human at all. Like shame on us for even assuming that. Even you used intern, right? We're talking interns and assistants, which are human. Would it be better to describe it as a calculator?
I don't think so because I think a calculator. I've never had this depth of a conversation with these
You're
framing, so
welcome.
I'm pausing. Yeah, I'm pausing a little bit. I think a calculator is a tool, right? Like I look at a calculator as it's a tool to do a job. You can't ask a calculator to draw you a blueprint of something, maybe a graphing calculator, but
Okay,
you get the point.
let's say a very advanced calculator.
No, I still look at, I think the power of an LLM and these Gen AI kind of capabilities is that they actually are pretty broad. A calculator is still purpose built no matter how advanced it is, it will never help you cook pasta, right? Like now you could argue, what if it does? Then it's really a calculator. It's probably not anymore. But the power, I think, of the LLMs as they get better and they get more capabilities, I'm not going to use human words yet, but as they become more advanced, they have more ability to capture knowledge, then the applicability is so broad, and they do start to gain the ability to make their own decisions. Now, making their own decisions for an LLM, like in the end, when we talk about hallucination, what we're really saying is
An error, right?
it's yeah, it took a less probable path. Like in the end, like an LLM is just going through a probability path to get to the endpoint. It just took a path that was not as probable. Like
So
90% of the people took this path. It
yeah.
decided to take the other one.
In the end, it's a machine, right? Working on probabilities. And
It is a
like
machine, yes.
and humans aren't, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think some people are probably trying to think of humans as a machine here as well.
Yeah.
But I agree. Yeah, I think
So it's
that's a very
like if I'm novice,
philosophical argument.
right? If I'm novice, right, and I'm using it, I'm like, it doesn't give me the result I want. It's not a hallucination, it's an error, and I'm not going to use it again. It's no. Maybe your
Right.
expectations were wrong. Maybe like you started saying this, maybe you didn't think about your work properly, right? Breaking your work down into the tasks and subtasks and associated tasks. Or these are things we know as like product and project managers is that the work itself is actually more complex than you think it is on the surface. Like how many like and all the people that you've worked with in your career, like how many people actually understand what the work is? Even if it's just their job, what is the job to be done?
Yeah, I think you and I will have probably different answers in different scenarios because my most of my career has been working with software engineers.
Hmm.
And software engineers are systematic thinkers, right? Like
Yeah.
they do understand how to break down the work.
What I
But
meant,
now that I'm building, but you also worked not with software engineers.
right? Yeah.
And that was going to be my next point. Like when I work with software engineers and tech people, they understand how to take a problem and break it down. when I translate that to the end users of the products that I'm building, they're not technology people, very different. There's a lot of tribal knowledge and assumptions that they don't even think about codifying because they've never had to.
And they've probably never actually broken their job or role down into those pieces and parts. This is something like, and when I was talking with Peter Capelli, one of the authors of the Harvard Business Review article, he was saying, like, in traditional HR, like of old, like this would be part of developing a job description, right? Getting into the tasks and subtasks, but it's not done anymore. And it's almost like we have to go back to that to force people to think about where LLMs could apply, because otherwise they don't really understand. They can do their job and probably effectively, but when you ask them to take a step back and say, okay, what are the things you do every day? What are the tasks associated with those? What are the subtasks? It's probably 20 to 30 tasks that they perform with their job, but they don't know what they are because they just do them. But now with this, in order to, like you said, people want like the LLM or the AI thing just to magically do everything for them. But the real answer lies buried somewhere in that list of 30 things that they do, right? There are a few opportunities there.